The following is a production of Grenzebach, Glier & Associates, consultants in philanthropic management.
Hi, I'm Scott Atwell, Senior Vice President at Grenzebach, Glier & Associates, and today we're on the campus of Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton. FAU's Vice President for University Advancement is Danita Nias, who came up in the advancement world as Chief Alumni Officer at both the University of Maryland and then the University of Florida. Today, she sat down to answer GG+A's 10 questions.
My transition from alumni to advancement leadership was informed by my experience early in my career working at Xerox. I learned at an early age that the customer was the focal point of any interaction, and when you're selling, it's paying attention to what the donor or the customer wants and needs, and then being able to respond to that. When I took over as a leader in alumni relations, I never lost that philosophy. I never lost that orientation. I looked at donors as customers, and in so doing, I was able to translate what we were doing in a way that was valuable to them. And I believe that my ability at that time to connect donor and alumni needs to university priorities, which culminated in gifts, whether it was annual giving or major gifts or even principal gifts, earned me the right to be considered to oversee development officers and all other employees within the advancement division. What fires me up, what inspires me, is getting to know our volunteers and really understanding what is motivating them to give or to get involved. And when I learn the story behind the story, A, I never forget it, and B, I then work hard to make sure that we're connecting to that story as we engage that donor. I believe that administrators and faculty don't appreciate the importance of engagement, and that effective engagement will ultimately lead to giving. And when you begin to engage with the idea of getting a gift up front, your success is going to be marginalized because your donor or your alumnus isn't going to feel that the engagement is authentic. So I believe you have to put that aside and really try to get to know that donor. I have often felt that alumni relations professionals posture like a stepchild. And I believe that if alumni relations professionals focused on how they could be relevant to the advancement enterprise, relevant to the university, they could earn a seat at every table and begin to advocate for alumni and friends and create new and different pathways for them to be engaged in the life of a university. The best part of my job is recognizing our volunteers and our donors for their work. Nothing gives me greater pleasure than to see them walk on stage and to accept an award for their investment in the university, their support of students. To me, that's the greatest satisfaction. And to see them talk about why they have made the investment they've made makes me feel like I am stewarding my university to the best of my ability. Alumni professionals need to get their arms around targeted engagement. In other words, it's not enough to invite every alumnus for whom you have an address in a specific area to an event. You've got to drill down in the data and look at those who have the most likelihood to participate in any way and invite those people. I remember we were recognizing a very successful woman who worked for the Navy, and my husband and I were sitting at this table and most of the room was empty. And I remember whispering to him, I can't believe this person is here and nobody else is here. So I went to the dean the following week and I said, I have an idea. I would love to get all of the colleges and units to create one event where they recognize their distinguished alumnus. There was resistance at first, and we had to work hard to get every unit to buy into it. We also included the annual Alumni Association Awards, and it became like the Oscars. You had 500 people in black tie. You had awardees walking across the stage in front of this amazing audience, offering their gratitude for the recognition. Prior to me coming, the board sat around, they listened to reports, they didn't have any input in those reports, and their involvement wasn't as inspiring as it could have been. So today, with clearly defined roles and responsibilities, board members are actively involved in making the right changes, making sure that we're monitoring our progress to meet our overall goals, and they feel that they have a stake in our success and they know what that is. I remember once when I was working with an athletics board, the idea was, how do we get the parents of student athletes who don't need the scholarship dollars to invest and to create a scholarship fund? So what we did was we created a subcommittee on this board. We tasked them with the idea and let them have at it. And it gave them something meaningful to do because the university needed the scholarship dollars, and it also gave them a voice for the university with a segment of our stakeholders who had the capacity to support but didn't understand that their support was actually needed.
10 Questions has been a production of Grenzebach, Glier & Associates, where our mission is advancing yours.